What's up guys? So I created this DIY HomeKit alarm system using HomeBridge and a $20 Siren from Amazon. It's really easy, it's affordable, works great, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it right now. Let's go! Sponsored by Skillshare. Yo, what's up guys? Thanks so much for joining me today. My name is Shane if you're new here, and this channel is all about building an easy smart home using Apple's HomeKit with new videos released every Sunday right here. Alright, so let's jump in. First, let's cover everything you'll need to create this DIY HomeKit security system. First, you will need HomeBridge or HOOBS to accomplish this. Now, if you're not familiar with HomeBridge, basically it's a lightweight server that runs on your network and supports community-driven plugins that can really extend the functionality of HomeKit. Now, I have done videos in the past on both HomeBridge and HOOBS that I will put linked below in the description. Next, we'll need a Siren. So I got this 120 decibel Siren for 10 bucks and an $8 DC power supply from Amazon. Again, links to everything below. You will need a smart plug. Any HomeKit smart plug will work. And of course, you'll need sensors that can trigger your alarm when it's armed. Any HomeKit door, window, or motion sensors will work for this. Now there's really going to be three main steps to setting this up. First, we're going to set up our Siren. Second, we're going to set up our HomeBridge plugin. And third, we're going to create automations for triggering the alarm or Siren. So the first step is going to be setting up your Siren. I'm going to connect my Siren to the DC power supply that I purchased. I'll plug that into my smart plug that I've already got configured in HomeKit. And just name your smart plug something like Siren or whatever, just so you'll know what it is. Now, if I turn on the smart plug, that Siren will sound, and it stops when I turn off the plug. Perfect. Now you can put this Siren anywhere that makes sense. I'm leaving mine out just for demonstration purposes for this video so it's easy to see. But after this video, I do plan on finding a good place where I can maybe mount this or kind of tuck it away somewhere where it's a little bit more hidden. Alright, and the next step, we need to install that HomeBridge security system plugin and configure it in HomeBridge. Alright, to do this, I'm going to take out my computer and head on over to my HomeBridge dashboard. Okay, so here we are. I'm at my HomeBridge dashboard. So first we need to install that security system plugin. So I'm going to go to plugins. We're going to go to search and I'm going to look for security system. HomeBridge security system. This is the one that I have used. Let that install real quick. Okay, here you go. Security system. You can change the name if you want. I'm going to call this HB for HomeBridge Security System just for the sake of demonstration so I don't get confused. Now there are a lot of really impressive features and things you can do with this plugin. For the sake of just keeping things simple, I'm just going to show you some of the main features that I've used and set up. So we'll kind of go through that, but we're just going to keep it simple and set up the basics so you can get your security system up and running. I did want to mention the arming and the trigger delay real quick. The arming delay will give you some time to exit your house before the alarm is triggered, and the trigger delay will give you some time when you get home to turn off the system before it's triggered. Alright, so if we scroll down, you can see there's tons of options and things you can configure here. Let's go to the advanced options real quick. I'm going to kind of skip through a lot of this again, just trying to keep it simple today, but disable modes. This right here, I do want to point out, this is where you can disable any particular modes that are visible in HomeKit. So I'm going to disable the home mode for now, so that way we'll have just off, night, and away modes that are accessible in HomeKit. If I go down to the switches, so I'm going to turn this off. You can show mode switches, so this makes it really easy to create automations, but I'm not using this. Okay, so now I'm going to go down. Now I'm going to turn on Show Siren Switch. So this is going to give me an extra switch that will basically just trigger my alarm. So in the security system, it'll just show that it's triggered if this switch is ever turned on. This way I can use this for automations and stuff. So I like to be able to do that. So I can create an automation and just turn on that switch and it will trigger my alarm. Now below that you see Show Siren Mode Switches. But I'm going to turn this off because that's not how I'm going to use this. And that's really all we need to do in HomeBridge. So again, keeping it really simple today. I do encourage you to play around with some of these different options and experiment and see what you can make this do. But for now, we're going to keep this simple. I'm going to hit save. Okay, I'm going to restart HomeBridge just to make sure that works. All right, now I'm going to hop on over to the Home app. We're just going to make sure that came through okay. If we go down. Okay, and here we go. You can see we have our away, night, and off modes here, and that extra switch that we set up. So I can look at my accessories, and I can see here. I'm going to rename this to something different because I don't want to confuse it with my actual Siren, that smart plug that we set up. So I'm just going to call this Trigger Security System, and that will be good. All right, so we're good to go there. Okay, and the final step is going to be configuring our automations. Now this can be done in any third-party HomeKit app that allows you to create automations with conditional logic. Controller for HomeKit, the Home Plus 5 app, and the Eve app are all good examples. The Eve app is a free one if you don't want to purchase one of the paid ones that I mentioned, and all this can actually be done on your phone. But since I'm already on my Mac here today, I'm going to use the Controller for HomeKit app. Just know that the same thing can be done in any of the other apps mentioned as long as you can create those conditional automations for HomeKit. Unfortunately, that's not something we can do in the native Home app, so we will have to use one of these other apps. Okay, so for this example, I'm going to set up the Siren to sound when one of my door sensors is opened, but only if the security system is armed. All right, let's jump in. All right, so I'm going to open up my controller app for HomeKit. Let's go to our automations tab and let's create a new automation. We're going to call this automation Alarm System Triggered, where it's going to be event-based. Choose next. We're going to add our triggers. Okay, so this is going to be our sensors that will trigger the security system. So I'm going to start with my front foyer. I have my front door in here. So this is my front door sensor. We're going to choose if that is opened. Click save. We're going to choose another sensor. So you can add as many sensors as you want here. This one, we're going to go with backyard, and I'm going to use my back door and change this to open, save. Okay, and we'll just stick with that for now. So if my front door or my back door is opened, now we need to add that condition. We're going to choose an accessory, and we are going to look for, I think it put it in my studio, that new, yeah, okay, so HB security system right there. So I'm going to need to make sure this is armed for away. So if the HomeBridge security system is equal to, we're going to choose arm away or away arm. Tap save. Then we need to add our Siren here as what will happen. Now, all these third-party apps that you have to create a scene in automation for some reason. That's just the way all these third-party apps work. So to do this, I don't have a scene yet made. So we'll just go up here and I'll tap New Scene. And I will call this Sound Alarm. Choose Next. I can even change the icon here if I want. Let's go with that. That looks pretty good. Save. And I need to add my accessory. So now I am looking for my Siren. And here it is right here, the Siren. And we're going to turn the power state on. And choose Done. And then another thing I like to do is add that switch that we added through HomeBridge that just triggers the security system so that it knows that it has been triggered. So let's just do that real quick. Let's add in, let's go to our studio. Let's look for that switch. HomeBridge security system, and it is this right here, trigger security system. So this will just switch the state to that triggered alert. Then you can create other automations around your security system being triggered. So I'm just going to add that. Okay, so now sound alarm, the siren will come on, and this will trigger our security system. Hit save, and then I have to choose that. That was called sound alarm. So I'm going to choose that scene, close. Okay, so here is our automation. Again, you can do this in a number of different HomeKit apps, but essentially you need to create an automation that if your sensor is triggered with the condition that the security system is armed, then execute that scene that will turn on your smart plug. Okay? I'm going to just make sure activate automation is turned on and choose save. Now we have that automation all set up. Now one thing you should do is also create another automation to turn off the siren, okay? That can be bad if you don't have a way to turn off the siren. So let's do that real quick. We're going to create one more automation. Alarm system stop. Choose next. Okay, we're going to choose our start event, and I'm going to choose accessory, and I'm going to look for my security system, which again was in the studio here. HomeBridge security system, and this time I'm going to choose current security system state is disarmed. Okay, so that's what we want right here. Choose save. So if the security system is disarmed, I don't need a condition for this one. Now I'm just going to choose add scene, and I don't have a scene for this again, so we're going to create a new one. We're going to call this stop siren. We are going to find that siren and just make sure this is turned off. So this is going to turn off that smart plug. Choose done, save, and look for our new scene, stop siren. All right, close. So now if the security system state is disarmed, so if you ever disarm it, it will stop the siren. Okay, so if it's going off, you need to turn it off, you can just disarm it and it'll stop the siren. All right, activate our automation, choose save, and we're good. So now we have a way of arming our security system, triggering the security system if it's armed, and we have a way to stop that siren and disarm our security system. Oh, sorry, it looks like somebody is ringing my doorbell. Yes, hello? Hello, can I help you?
Yes, sir. Do you have a minute where I can tell you about Skillshare?
Nah, man, sorry, now's really not a good time. No soliciting here, please. Keep it moving.
It'll only take a minute. I think you'll really like it.
Alright, fine. What do you got?
Okay, yeah, great. So, if you're into learning new things, you really need to check out Skillshare. It's an online learning community with thousands of classes and topics on all kinds of awesome stuff, no matter what you're into. Currently, I'm actually working through a class called Advanced Editing with Premiere Pro, and it's been a great way to help me be more efficient in my video editing. Skillshare is curated specifically for learning, meaning there's no ads, and they're always launching new premium classes. Plus, most of the classes are short, which I love, so it's super easy to stay focused and find all kinds of new stuff that interests me or you. It's less than $10 a month with an annual subscription, but Skillshare is going to hook you up. The first 1,000 people to click the link in the description will get a free trial of their premium membership so you can explore your creativity.
Alright, cool, man. Thanks for stopping by.
So sir, are you going to sign up for Skillshare?
Well, I'm actually already signed up, so yeah.
Okay, great. Well, that's fantastic. You have a nice day, sir.
I'm so sorry about that. Okay, now where was I? Alright, so our siren is all set up, HomeBridge is set up, and our automations are now set up. So now if someone triggers one of those sensors when the system is armed for a way, it's going to sound our loud siren. Let's test it out. Alright, so as you can see, it works great. You can take this further and configure the different modes of the security system in the same way that we did this one. Maybe take advantage of different sensors for different security system modes. For example, your away mode might include motion sensors around your house, but the night mode may only include door and window sensors so that you don't trip the alarm when you're walking through the house in the middle of the night. And from there, you can always set up additional automations like turning on all your lights, or in my case, executing that code red scene that flashes my Vocal Link light strips, you know, every time the alarm is triggered. One thing that I really like to do with the security system in HomeKit is configure one or two little smart buttons, you know, like there's all kinds of different ones, but like these here, you know, you can hide these little things, you know, wherever you want by the bedside table, or you can even configure one of the button presses, like maybe the long press or something, to be a panic button and instantly trigger the siren. You know, really cool for like a nightstand or something like that, but I like to hide little HomeKit buttons just in certain places to easily turn on and off the security system. Now another tip, something else that I like to do is use a light accessory in the house somewhere as sort of a visual cue for your security system state. For example, when the system is armed, turn on a lamp or some sort of light red, you know, just so people in the house know that the system is armed. If you open the door, it's going to trigger that siren. And the final touch to my DIY HomeKit security system is going to be my new Protected by HomeKit sticker that I'm putting by the front door. Now, big shout out to my dude Rob for generously sending me a few of these really nice high quality stickers that he made. I will put a link below to his Etsy shop in case you want to pick up some of these for yourself. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Subscribe for new HomeKit videos every Sunday right here. And if you really want to support the channel and get some extra perks in the process, consider becoming a channel member. Thanks again to Skillshare for supporting the channel and sponsoring this video. And thank you so much for watching. Until next time, we'll see y'all later. Hello? Hello, is anyone there? That's a fancy doorbell. Anyone there? Huh. Powered by HomeKit. What the heck is HomeKit?